I really love good mystery movies, and one of my favorite directors of mystery is David Fincher because he is incredible in building all the suspense. I can't believe with all the work he's done, like Seven and then Gone Girl, and now I'm about to present to you my review of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. The Girl with a Dragon Tattoo is a 2011 mystery film directed by David Fincher, and it stars Daniel Craig, Rooney Mara, Christopher Plummer, and so many other actors and actresses. The story is about this journalist, played by Daniel Craig, who goes on this journey to uncover a 40-year-old mystery that has been left unsolved. And little did he know that this mystery would be filled with so many dark secrets and disturbing information about what happened during that murder. And how he gets help is through this hacker who is a girl with tattoos named Rooney, played by Rooney Mara. And then later, they build this type of strange relationship as they try to solve this mystery. And then now you got the movie. I also have to warn my viewers that this movie is not for everybody. This is a very dark, brutal, and mature film that I do not recommend for younger audiences. There's a lot of material that's very, very dark and very gruesome and very rough that there are some scenes that I honestly just cannot watch, and this is another reason why this film is so powerful in that way. Not in a sense of being inspirational, but in the sense of being so dark and so twisted. So, it's really not for everybody. I really do not recommend this movie for everybody, but just a little heads up as I go deeper into this review. Now, there is a lot to love from The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. First off, David Fincher is amazing at creating fear and suspense. The first time I saw this movie, I was freaked out by all the mature elements and the very, very scary elements that were presented in this film. Little did I know that this film would have such a huge impact on how to direct mystery and horror and mix them up in the same genre. And that's what I find really cool about this film. David Fincher is also a guy who really knows how to direct his actors. Whenever the actors are on screen, they're in the moment. He allows their actors to feel as if they're actually their characters, and that's the reason why I really loved Fincher's direction in this film. He really makes the actors feel like that there's someone in the film, and that they're really going on this journey. And it's really impressive the way how he enhanced it in this film, and also in his past films like Seven and Gone Girl. And I find it really amazing that he's able to keep this style as an auteur of suspense and mystery. From Fincher's direction and the way he films, you can go from one scene that is very noisy and has a little bit of music to a scene where it's completely silent, and that's where the freaky parts come in. And this is what I really praise Fincher for, is for creating silence whenever it's needed. Silence is very powerful, especially for a horror movie, and this is where it really works in this film. The silence in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is just tremendously used. I remember it was very effective, and I was very impressed with the way it was used, especially when the silence builds up to a tension and then to a surprise scene, and that's the reason why I really loved Fincher's direction. The first thing I'd like to point out from this film is the cinematography, because the cinematography is amazing. Majority of this film is very gray and dark. You don't get very much light in some scenes. Sure, there are some scenes where they involve, light flashing or something like that, but majority of this film is dedicated to darkness, and it's in response and reflection to the darkness of the mystery that's being solved and the mystery that's being presented in front of us, the audience, and the way that we're seeing them. But the thing that I really love the most about this movie is the acting, and the acting is amazing. Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara gave some of the greatest performances I've ever seen of them out of their careers. I really rooted for the two of them as they were two very conflicted characters that had a very difficult past about proving themselves to society and how they can be themselves whenever they're on this journey. And seeing how these conflicted characters go on this journey and how they can improve their characters through this character arc that they're building, it was really good writing for their characters. You really root for them whenever they're in terrible situations. You also really root for them whenever they're in really disturbing situations, because these are the people that want to get things right for the movie. The pacing of the plot is pretty slow. This is a pretty slow movie, but at the same time it works for the structure of the mystery that's being solved in this film. You go from the first act where you're introduced to the mystery, the second act to the rising action, and where the mystery gets more tension and more action, and then the climax where you begin to see the twist, and the falling action into the resolution of how this movie was fixed. And I gotta say, I was really impressed. But at the same time, it did become a bit of a flaw for me because this movie does suffer from a little bit of structural problems from the way that I see it. I felt like there was one scene that could have worked in this other order, but from the way it is, it's very forgivable because this was still amazingly made by David Fincher, and I still give him props for that. I may want to end this review right now because I do not want to go into spoiler territory, and if I do go into spoiler territory, that's when I have to maybe restrict a little bit of this video because this movie is really, really dark, and it's not really meant for any younger audiences to hear about because of how dark it and mature this is. But this is a very, very good movie. I just gave out all of my opinions on this film. David Fincher once again nails it with this film, and the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is an example of how good mystery movies are made. This came out in 2011, 7 years ago, and it still blows my mind till this day. And I'm going to have to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Please go see it if you have the time. Thank you very much, guys.